इस वक्त आप समाअत फरमा रहे हैं ईमान एफएम 103.1 एफएम पे ईमान रेडियो और इसके साथ साथ आप हमें फेसबुक पे और यूट्यूब पे भी देख सकते हैं ईमान टीवी ऑनलाइन के ज़रिए अगर आप हमारे साथ ज्वाइन होना चाहें तो हमारा नंबर है 01142425 जैसा कि आप जानते हैं कि ईमान के मेहमान प्रोग्राम आपकी खिदमत में पेश किया जाता है और आज जो शख्सियत हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं इनका ताल्लुक शेफील्ड से है और शेफील्ड में ही पैदा हुए और शेफील्ड में ही बड़े हुए और फिर उसके बाद इन्होंने जो है यहाँ पर तालीम हासिल की और जॉब भी करते रहे और आजकल ये रिटायर्ड हैं लेकिन रिटायर्ड नहीं हैं एक तरह से क्योंकि इन्होंने कम्युनिटी के लिए बहुत सारे काम किए हैं और जहाँ पे भी ज़रूरत होती है वहाँ पहुँच जाते हैं वॉलंटियरली आपने आपको पेश किया और ईमान एफएम की टीम के भी एक मेंबर की हैसियत से ये हमारे साथ हैं मेरी मुराद है रॉबर्ट एडनब्रुक who is known as Bob and because we have his program on the Iman FM which is Be Safe with Bob and it's mostly this program give you the how to save environment wherever you are particularly in the houses in the businesses and wherever you are living or you are working it gives a very nice hints and information to those who are listeners today I have Bob with me so it will be in English program so we'll keep it in English and I'll welcome Bob to the Iman FM. Iman, you know, Iman ke mehman mean the guest of Iman.
Yes.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Shabbir.
Good afternoon. How are you then?
I'm fine. Fine.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. I just like to know where was you born and you know when you are a child. And how was your family and how which was your first school
Well, I was born on a street called Ersham Street which is in Pittsmore
all right okay
just off Sutherland Road
right.
the houses aren't there anymore they were what they call back-to-back houses
yeah
behind the steelworks
right okay
that's 62 years ago right. When the steelworks were very busy, you know, there were many thousands of people working in Sheffield in the steel industry then.
Very busy.
Very.
I've seen pictures.
And then moved up to Scott Road, just off Scott Road, Blayton Road.
Right.
And then from there, the first school I went to was Furs Hill, which has now just been renamed.
Yeah. It's, the Furs Hill.
Furs Hill, yeah. Just off, just off
Marshall Road, isn't it?
No, Burngreave and Barnsley, yeah.
Burngreave and Barnsley.
It's actually on Orphanage Road. That's the actual address. But
right.
I remember going there with a young man called Irshad Akbar.
All right.
Yeah.
So Irshad was in school when you was in school.
Yes, he's the same age as me.
All right. Okay. That's.
Yeah, Irshad lived on Scott Road, and I lived just off Scott Road, and that's how I got to know Irshad. I think Irshad's family were one of the first Pakistanis. Family on
in the area.
In the area, yeah.
Right. Okay.
But you know we've been friends ever since. You know, all the family.
It was the first school when you started, and Irshad started as well same time.
And then we followed. We went right through Furs Hill, and then we went to Ola Lane, which is now Furvale.
Yeah.
But when we went, it was Ola Lane.
Right. Okay.
And then we took our what they called the 13 plus before the 11 plus.
Yeah.
Or after.
Yeah.
And we both went to the Central Technical School in Sheffield, which was an all-boys school.
Yeah.
And it was to train students in technical skills, you know, woodwork, engineering,
right. Okay.
That type of thing. That's when Sheffield were big.
Right.
In the manufacturing industry, so that prepared you. So from the school, there were jobs
was
available. Yeah, you could pick the job you wanted, you know, and,
right, okay.
and go into the steelworks.
So, do you remember any activities while you were in school? Something you never forget?
Yeah, I mean, we had many different activities. Rounders, we used to play a lot of rounders.
Right.
Hopscotch, British, one called British Bulldog.
Right. Okay.
It was like an assault course.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in the sports hall.
Right. Okay.
But no, we did sewing and everything. You know, we played recorders, and you had to make a recorder bag to put the recorder in. So you had to learn how to sew and all things like that. Right. So there were basic skills that they were teaching you, and they don't do that now. But it taught you.
Yeah, obviously, this development happens.
Oh yeah,
and there is a lot of things being changed.
I mean, technology was I remember getting the first television.
Yeah.
You know, and that was many years ago, but in the 60s.
In 60s?
First television.
Your house had
and
first
you had,
television. Yeah.
And you had a...
Is it black and white?
Black and white.
Yeah.
And you could buy a glass to go over the screen to magnify it.
Oh, right, okay. Make
it was only a small screen about...
Yeah.
Like that. And you put a piece of glass over that sort of blow it up a bit. Expanded it.
Right, okay.
But
so what was your favorite soap or dramas?
Oh, there were no such
sports?
Things. It was there was a puppet show called Four Feather Falls.
Right, okay.
Cowboys and Indians.
Right, okay.
And then there was...
That was American.
Yeah. And then there was another one called Fireball XL5. It was about a spaceship.
Yeah.
That went up. Bit like Star Trek, but
like Star Trek.
Many years before that, and you could see the wires, you know, and the puppets, and that was it, you know. And I remember one thing that I remember in 1962. I'd just come home from school when Kennedy got assassinated.
Yeah. So
and I saw that on the television.
You remember that?
Yeah, because black and white, you know.
Yeah.
Because it were a world news event, you know, President Kennedy.
It's a big news.
And of course,
American Prime Minister.
Yeah, at that time they were scared of a nuclear war.
Yeah,
because
it couldn't happen.
Because it happened just after the Bay of Pigs, you know, when they had the trouble with the Cuban crisis.
Yeah.
It wasn't so long after when Kennedy got assassinated.
Yeah.
And everybody was like that. Knowing if it would have been atomic war again, nuclear war.
Okay. Did you take part any sport while you were studying, or while you were in school? What was the sport you?
Well, we went swimming.
What's your favorite sport?
I didn't like swimming. Football.
Right. Okay.
And cricket.
Did you play football or
yeah, we played.
Right.
Played in the school.
Yeah.
No grass, all asphalt. So if you fell down, you cut your knee.
Obviously.
Yeah. And if you kick your ball into the coal bunker, you couldn't go in. You had to get the caretaker to come and get the ball out. But yeah, we did sport. We did rounders. We played a lot of rounders.
Okay.
A bit like baseball, but rounders are very good.
So, do you have team members?
Yeah.
The boys who was attending the school.
Yeah.
You had good friendships, or somebody who's very friendly with you?
Yeah. I mean, Ishad.
Ishad. All right. Okay.
Ishad Akbar, Kenneth Osborne, who owns Century Mills on Woodburn Road.
Right. Okay.
And another boy called Robert Edwards. His uncle was the pot king, what they call the pot king in the markets.
Yeah.
He used to sell all the china.
Okay.
So yeah, we had a good friendship. Well, you did, because there were no. You at night when you went home from school, you played out in the street. You played games. You played cricket. You played football in the street.
So you play cricket in the street.
Yeah.
Okay.
You couldn't do it now.
No. Yeah, you can't.
There weren't as many cars, you see.
Yeah, you can't.
People didn't have cars.
Yeah,
you know.
Those days, there's no cars.
No. Very few.
You get a free pitch.
Yeah, you got free pitch. Yeah. I used to play, you know, in the old allotments in the parks. But yeah, that's how we entertained ourselves. You know, you made your own entertainment.
Yeah.
And well, you had a lot of friends then. You know.
Okay, so the atmosphere that time was something. The foundries and factories was running, and as everybody knows that steel is most popular from Sheffield, and there is so many things being produced from Sheffield, which is we have in India as well. The many bridges or many other things which is actually made in Sheffield. So do you feel proud on that, or do you what was atmosphere that time?
I mean,
when you was young.
Yeah, you felt proud because, like, Sheffield was, like you said, a city of steel.
Yeah.
It was a city of cutlery, knives and forks.
Yeah, true.
When people got married, you got a canteen of cutlery. And, it's like when they say, well, like, they've been on about Peugeot buying Vauxhall out, and how it can affect not only Vauxhall, but the surrounding area.
Yeah.
If you look around this area, they might have had one steel firm like Firth Browns, but it didn't only employ 8,000 people, it employed many other people in little other companies that provided services to the big steel firms.
Yeah.
Satellites. And from that, I mean, when Ishad Akbar, he went to be a mechanic on the Sheffield Bus Company.
Yeah.
He repaired the old buses.
Yeah.
I repaired locomotives.
Yeah, I did interview him, and he mentioned that.
But from that, Ishad played cricket for the bus company.
Okay.
I played cricket and football for the steelworks. So he had big sports grounds as well.
Right. Okay.
So it was. Well, they weren't nice places to work in, but you did have a social side from it as well. You had parks that the firms paid for. You had sports grounds where you had parties. You had sports days. You had football matches every week, cricket matches.
Right. Okay.
And you expanded from that, So it was very community spirited companies.
Community spirit, and they
the
get together and play.
Yeah.
And the people come to watch as well.
Hundreds of people.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Nowadays, everybody's busy with their mobile phone.
Exactly. Yeah.
They have no time.
No time. But no, I think that in those days it was a lot better. There was still crime.
Yeah.
But not as much. It got subdued a lot. People looked after each other.
Yeah,
community.
Definitely. Definitely.
And
they was very caring.
Yeah,
very caring
they were.
people.
Very caring.
Yeah.
I mean, when I worked at Firth Browns, 8,000 people. Cross mixture. There were Pakistani, there were Yemenis, there were German, there were Italian, there were Chinese, there were British. Loads of people. And people said, why? Well, the reason why is because so many people got killed in the Second World War. There was a big gulf in workforce.
Okay, give me some background of your family. As your father and mother.
Yeah. Well, my father was a grocer.
Right. Okay. You had a grocery shop.
Yeah, he didn't own one. He was a manager of one.
Okay, that's fine.
Up Saniford Road.
Oh, right.
And Darnell. He was born in Darnell.
Yeah.
He then went into the army in 1939.
Right. Okay.
Went out to India for 6 years.
He went to India as well.
Yeah, for 6 years. He had 6 years in India.
Right,
Never came home. And he came home in 1946 when he got demobbed after Japan surrendered.
Yeah.
And then he went back for his old job.
He was in army, or?
Yeah, he was a medic.
All right. Okay.
He worked in the operating theatres in India. Worked all over Burma.
Yeah,
Calcutta, New Delhi, Assam.
Yeah. Okay.
And then he came back and went back for his job, and he got a job not with the same company but with a different company as a manager. A company called Gowers and Bergens, which was a Sheffield company, family. Right. They owned about 20 shops.
Right. Okay.
And that's how I met my mum. My mum worked in a shop.
Okay.
Just up Saniford Road.
Right. Okay.
And then they got married.
So you have connection with Darnell as well.
Yeah.
Pittsmore,
Darnell.
Darnell.
Yeah, we had a big family in Darnell and Attercliffe.
Okay. Yeah.
I had relatives that were superintendents of the Attercliffe Vestry.
Right. Okay.
They worked at Woolworths just down the road from here.
Mm-hmm.
I worked at Banners when I was 14.
Did you? All right. How was the banner that time?
Big family supermarket, a big family department store
Department store.
with a supermarket in the basement,
Yeah.
and that's where I worked, in the basement.
I learned that this was the first building at
A wooden
Yes.
escalator,
yeah, wooden escalators.
and I was one of the first ones to get stuck on it.
Did you?
Yeah, because there were no overrides then.
How people find that? When they come for shopping and people get scared of it.
Yeah, because it was a new invention. I mean, they were used to stairs and lifts,
Right. Okay.
but the lifts had an attendant.
Yeah.
You couldn't get in a lift and press a button yourself.
No.
You had an
Somebody
attendant.
was there.
Yeah.
On the duty too, because the manual there wasn't automatic.
No, and I remember
Yeah.
Banners when you paid.
Yeah.
They put the money in a canister,
Right. Okay.
put in a pipe, and that went right upstairs
Oh yes.
to the
yes.
cash office,
Yes.
and then they sent down the change.
Yeah.
That's how they did. And I remember that when I worked there.
Right. That's I found in Bradford. One of the sunrise or
Like something to do with the co-op.
Co-op. Yeah. Co-op. Yeah.
But I remember
they do same thing.
I remember this building.
Yeah.
This building was called Burgess's
Right.
on the corner.
Oh, this where we are sitting now.
Yeah.
Where the studio.
And it was a very high bespoke gents outfitters.
Yes, I've seen the photographs of.
Because at Whitsuntide,
Yeah.
when you got a new set of clothes,
Right.
you didn't get them every week.
Yeah.
You used to come here
Yeah.
and get your Sunday best.
Oh, right. Okay.
Jacket, trousers, shirt.
Right. Okay.
At the side was Littlewoods,
Mm-hmm.
which was a big department store.
Mm.
Burton's,
Burton's on the corner. Yeah.
with the skating ring upstairs.
Right. Okay.
And Attercliffe was a very vibrant area because of the steelworks.
It was very, very busy.
Yeah.
I've seen the photographs where
Yeah.
the people are walking all over. You can't see
No.
the floor.
No. There
Just the heads
were
of
thousands of people.
the people. Mm-hmm.
Because of the works, they didn't have cars,
Yeah.
so they either
They
caught the bus
walking,
or
yeah.
walked to work. I walked to work.
Trams was
Trams, yeah, Sheffield trams.
Yeah. So how did you find the trams those days?
Well, I only remember the last couple of years. A friend of mine, his granddad, was the last tram driver.
Right. Okay.
But the trams were good.
Mm-hmm.
They run all over Sheff. They run right from Tinsley,
Yeah.
right through to Millhouses and Sheffield Lane Top.
Right. Okay.
If you go to Firth Park, you can see the island where the trams used to get turned round. Just turn them round there. Just have a turntable
Turntable. Yeah.
and turn the tram round.
Right. Okay.
But I remember my grandfather, who worked in the steelworks during the war,
Yeah.
during the Blitz, he went missing for 3-4 days.
Oh.
And he was digging out the bodies in the Wicker
All right.
when it got bombed.
Okay.
Because when you go, the Wicker, the bridge,
Yeah.
you see a big hole if you look up, you see a big hole.
Yeah.
And that's where the bomb came through
Bomb
the
came
bridge.
through. Right.
So
Okay.
then they hit Marples in Fitzallen Square as well. But they used to, they tried obliterating the East
So
End.
what was the reason to missing him?
It was part of the fire watch. He worked in the steelworks, but he also worked as like a fire watcher.
Right.
So if when the bombers came over,
Yeah.
if they dropped a bomb and it caused an explosion, they'd
yeah.
report it. They'd stand on top of buildings and then phone up the fire service and
Right. Okay.
then they'd come out and rescue the people, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And my mum worked up here in a pub, and that got bombed out, just up down from Banners.
Oh dear.
And
dear.
but my mum was a nurse in the Red Cross,
Right. Okay.
so that's what people did,
Right.
And of course they've just celebrated the Sheffield Blitz anyway.
And you was telling me about this Stenifus Road, the
Yeah.
name of somebody,
I had a relative called Harry Firth,
Harry Firth.
Yeah.
Right.
and just off Stanifirth Road, going over towards what they call Kettle Bridge,
Right. Okay.
there's a road called Harry Firth Way, I think, or Harry Firth Close,
Okay. So.
and he was a councillor a Labour councillor, an alderman, and he welcomed the first Pakistani families into Sheffield because they came over to fill in the void. Britain needed people to come and work in the steelworks.
Work in the steel because of after the World War there was
a big gulf. There weren't many people. I mean, Sheffield had women working in steelworks during the war.
They
used to call them what they call them, canary girls. They used to call them. Because my auntie was one, and they used to fill, the shells, artillery shells. They used to fill them full of sulphur, and of course the sulphur is yellow. And they used to call them canary girls because they were covered in yellow dust. And people don't realise,
the time change and people, when you're talking about those days, today's children don't know what was the situation and how it's happened, and how the people came about. Even from Pakistan, India, and other countries, how they came over to the UK. My dad was also in British Army, so he had a voucher from UK government to come over and work here. So that's something really.
And we had a lot from Yemen as well. Had a lot of Yemenis in the steelworks.
They came before. Pakistanis and Indians. Right, okay. We are about to getting to the break, but anything you remember from those days, you happily or sadly, which is you never forget.
I mean, communities were they used to come together more.
Obviously, there
were many celebrations like Easter, Whitsuntide, religious festival. But one bad thing was the smog. Fog. Smog is the smog was the dust from the factories.
Factories, and the fog as well to make it.
And it used to be yellow. It used to be yellow with the sulphur.
Oh right, okay.
And. I mean, Sheffield's a lot cleaner.
When you go out, did you get you feel it?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, you could feel it on your skin.
All right, okay.
And up your nasal passages and in your eyes and in your hair. That's why the council used to have what they call slipper baths, so people could go and have a public. They didn't have baths in the houses.
Right, okay.
So
this is very sad. Because. People definitely had, become ill because of that.
But the main thing was that people came together.
Right, okay.
They celebrated their parties, street parties and things like that,
Okay. Right, we are going for a break, and after the break, we will be find out how Bob become a fire safety officer. And that's something we need to reveal today. So keep listening, Iman FM on 103.1 FM, and also Iman TV online on Facebook and YouTube. So if anybody like to join us, you can ring 0114 2425 200.
Your voice, your choice. You are listening to Radio Iman on 103.1 FM. आज की शाम ये आपके नाम है. आपकी तफन्नुन तबाह के लिए हल्की फुल्की गपशप, लताइफ, हैप्पी बर्थडे, अदर की बात और मजीद सेगमेंट पेश किए जाते हैं. ईमान एफएम पे आप समाअत करते हैं हर इतवार शाम 8 बजे.
Khan Solicitors, experienced criminal defence lawyers in defending your rights. We can assist you get the best possible outcome if you're involved in any criminal matters, including murder, drug offences, sexual offences including grooming, terrorism, fraud and money laundering. We can provide free advice and assistance 24/7 at the police station. Call us on 0114 258 3399 at 351 Abbeydale Road, Sheffield. Visit us at khansolicitors.com. Over 20 years experience in defending your rights.
अरे शमसुद्दीन भाई यहाँ कहाँ घूम रहे हैं?
भैया रोडरम में कोई खाने का अच्छा जगह है?
रोडरम में उम्दा और लजीज खानों का वाहिद मरकज चौधरीज ओरिएंट एक्सप्रेस।
अरे भैया तो टाइम जाया ना करो, जल्दी करो, भूख लग रहा है।
देर न लाओ, आज ही आओ ते फायदा उठाओ।
Cater to impress, Chowdhury's Orient Express, Princess Street, Rotherham, telephone 01709 555527.
हर कोई सज्जन मित्र बोले चौधरीज ओरिएंट दे पैगे रोले, कुकड़ पाए ते गोश्त कढ़ाई, आके खाओ होले होले।
Aziz Catering, the award-winning caterers specialising in weddings, engagement, birthdays, business parties or any other special occasion from 30 to 5,000 people and delivered anywhere in the UK. All starters, main course and desserts freshly cooked to order and you're welcome to taste before you order. Aziz Catering, 1 Whitefield Place, Bradford, BD8 9JB. Call 01274 488874. Aziz Catering, once tried, never forgotten.
At iLet4U, we know that being a landlord can be a frustrating business, but it doesn't have to be. iLet4U can find you tenants in under a week. iLet4U, specialist in selective licensed properties.
अगर आप मकान किराए पे लगाना चाहते हैं तो हमारी खिदमत हासिल करें और घर बैठे किराया पाएं। iLet4U पर हम आपके घर को अपना घर समझकर रेंट पे देते हैं।
Start finding tenants today by contacting iLet4U, 60 Page Hall Road, Sheffield, 0114 327 2020.
मुअज़्ज़म अली शहीद वेलफेयर ट्रस्ट के ज़ेरे एहतमाम जेल में कायम अस्पताल में पिछले 18 सालों से इलाज मुआलजा मुस्तहिक अफराद को फीसबिलिल्लाह फराहम कर रहा है। गरीब खानदानों और यतीम बच्चों के लिए माली इमदाद दी जाती है।
With your help we can save lives, educate and help reduce poverty.
आप अपनी ज़कात, सदका और खैरात ट्रस्ट को देकर इस कार खैर में अपना हिस्सा डालें।
For more info call on 077 251 5561 or visit muslimtrust.org.uk.
إعلان عاجل لسائقي سيارات الأجرة وسيارات الأجرة الخاصة وسيارات هاكني كاريج. مستر كومبنسيتر يدفع 2000 جنيه كتعويض لطالبي التعويض لسيارات الأجرة، سيارات البرستيج وسيارات الدفع الرباعي بسبب الحوادث. التعويض مضمون بنسبة 100%. خدمتنا متوفرة طيلة 24 ساعة على 7 أيام. اتصل بنا الآن على الهاتف رقم 0114-386-3386. التعويضات تنطبق على سيارات الأجرة فقط، كل ذلك وفقا للشروط والأحكام.
IMAN FM. This is IMAN FM. You are listening IMAN FM 103.1 FM.
जी हाँ सामीन, अस्सलाम वालेकुम वरहमतुल्लाहि वबरकातुहू। आप सुन रहे हैं ईमान के मेहमान प्रोग्राम ऑन ईमान FM 103.1 FM पे, और इसके साथ साथ आप हमें देख रहे हैं ईमान टीवी ऑनलाइन के ज़रिए फेसबुक पे और यूट्यूब पे। Today we have our friend and our team member Robert Addenbrook, who known as a Bob. Be safe with the Bob, and his show is very nice, very informative, and today we are talking about his journey of his life. So I just like to find out what was your first job when you actually started.
Right. My first job when I left school was with a company called Barney Goodman. He was a Jewish tailor.
Right, okay. A Jewish tailor.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
I worked there about 9 months before I went in as an apprentice in the steelworks.
Right, okay.
But he was a well-known tailor in Sheffield. Everybody went, the football stars went and pop stars.
So he's very popular then.
Yeah.
So what was your wages?
£7.
Everybody gets.
Yeah.
First wage was, is nobody forget.
Yeah. I think it was either £5 or £7 a week.
Right. Okay.
And then I got commission on what I sold.
Right. Okay. So what was how did you spend that money?
I've always been car mad. But at that time it was scooters.
Right, okay.
Had scooters, Lambrеттers and...
Right, you bought a scooter?
Yeah.
Right, and you drive that?
I used to ride that, yeah.
All right.
And then from that, when I was 21, I I passed my driving test.
Right, okay.
And then I started wasting all my money on cars. And I still haven't changed. But, you know, that's what I did. I love anything mechanical.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's why I went into engineering, because I was mechanically minded.
So what was the second job then?
Second job was at Firth Browns in Sheffield.
Right, okay.
I ended up being a charge and diesel fitter. I used to repair anything with a diesel engine in it, locomotives, forklift trucks.
Okay.
From that I went to work for a German company on forklifts.
Right, okay.
Worked all over the country. Worked there about 15 years. And then
you worked there 15 years?
Yeah.
That's quite long.
And that was only up the road, just off opposite Macro.
Right, okay.
Where I was a site engineer at Bird's Eye and at Frigga Scandia, big cold stores.
Okay.
And then I went to Sheffield Council as an ambulance driver.
Right, okay.
At the back here, at the transport depot.
Okay, so you drive the ambulance as well? Good.
And then I transferred into the fire service in 1997.
How long you drive the ambulance?
About 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years. Any incident you?
Yeah. I had a bus catch fire. I got a load of disabled children on board.
Oh dear.
That was on Prince of Wales Road. Luckily I knew what to do, so we got them off the bike.
Right, okay.
And the bus, it was an old bus. It had
is it safe? Everybody was safe?
Yeah, everybody was safe. Yeah. I used to pick up a lot of Asian disabled children around Attercliffe.
Oh, okay.
And take them to a special needs school up at Norton.
Right.
And the bus just caught fire. The dashboard just caught fire.
It was driving seat place. Dashboard.
Yeah. It was electrical fault on that.
Those days, the passenger also have front seat to move out or coming in.
Yeah. Well, we were lucky because of the buses. You had 3 doors. You had one either side and a big one at the back.
All right.
So we just took everybody out.
So everybody from the back.
Yeah. And then from there, that's when I transferred into the fire service.
All right. So fire service.
97.
So you seen the fire and then you moved to the fire.
Then I moved into the fire service.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and one of the first people I saw was one of my old apprentices. He was an apprentice at Firth Browns.
Right. Okay.
And he was an officer in the fire service.
Yeah.
So that was 97.
So
I went as a maintenance man.
Right. Okay.
And then in 2000, the then Home Secretary decided to make some civilian officers in fire safety.
Right. Okay.
And I was one of 3 that got the job in South Yorkshire.
Right. Okay.
They were.
So what was the role actually as a fire safety officer? Yeah.
Well, basically, I used to go out. We used to get a list of jobs every week.
Right. Okay.
And I'd have to phone companies up and go out, check that the premises were safe. If they weren't safe, we had to tell them what to do. We used to serve notices on them. Right, and then we used to get a lot of complaints. So we used to work with the police and make sure that the buildings were safe for people to be living in them and working in them.
Right, okay.
And then we used to go out and give free advice as well. One thing I remember, I once got a letter from His Royal Highness at Aga Khan.
All right, okay.
And it was a mosque at Tinsley.
Right.
Only a small mosque. That was set up by a group of surgeons at the Northern General.
Right, okay.
And they were French.
They were French?
They were French. And everybody thought it was a joke.
Right.
But when I went, it was a small mosque above a row of shops. And they just wanted some advice.
Right, okay.
And then I got another one to go to the girls' school on Worksop Road, just up from the fire station.
Yeah.
So I turned up there one Friday.
Industry Road,
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
And I turned up there in uniform and on a Friday, and they said, "What are you doing here?" Well, I had a letter.
All right, okay.
So then I got pushed into the girls' school, and they wanted advice, you see. So
right, okay.
And I knew the protocols and so I left there in 2004. I went to Barnsley Council as their advisor.
Right, okay.
for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went back in the fire service in Chesterfield, in Derbyshire.
Okay.
And then, just carried on. And I finished in Manchester 2 years ago.
During the fire service, as a safety officer, you visited many places. Did you find anything which is you like to share with the anything which is very scary or
I mean
that you like to share with the people?
Yeah, I mean, one thing that people, and this is what I do on my radio show, I try and educate people in being safe.
Yeah.
But sometimes people think it's going to cost them money.
Yeah.
And some people, I used to deal with a lot of business people that were in the business of making money.
Yeah.
And they did not like people in uniform telling them what to do.
This is
that's a big problem.
It's naturally, with the uniform.
Oh yeah,
it's bits people frightened.
Yeah, I mean it's like in India, in Pakistan, you see a policeman walk up and people.
Yeah, they get scared.
Get scared.
Yeah,
but we weren't. I mean, yes, I carried a warrant card. I carried a Queen's warrant.
Yeah,
I could not arrest people,
but you can enter the property.
But I can. I could enter any property.
Yeah.
Apart from your house. We had more powers than the police.
Right, okay.
That's why the police used us to gain entry.
Yeah,
because it was quicker.
Yeah.
But I once went into a block of flats in Chesterfield.
Yeah.
And we found out that the building had been built without planning consent.
Oh dear.
Yeah. And then the next day I went back with immigration, border control, police, and they used my warrant to gain entry. And they found
everybody was invited.
Yeah, they found a lot of illegal workers.
Oh.
And
so illegally built the property, and the people are living in there also illegal.
And it was an unsafe building.
Oh.
You see.
Right. Okay.
So it's that balance, isn't it?
Right, okay. So what have you done then?
Well, with that, they closed it down.
Close it down.
Right. Close it down until they'd done the work.
Right, okay.
To make it safe.
Yeah.
One of the worst ones I had was in Sheffield on Spittal Hill.
Right, okay.
We went in one day with the police, and it was a West Indian club.
Okay.
And there'd been a shooting the night before. Somebody had been shot.
Right.
And there used to be a lot of trouble in Burngreave like that. Yeah. And I sent to get the jobs because I knew the people in Burngreave.
Yeah.
And people tend to shoot my legs and everything.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah, even across the road once.
Yeah, because when I came to Sheffield, in 2000, I found the Pittsmore, Burngreave was a very rough area. There's the shootings going on every night.
It was a rough area.
Yeah.
But I used to be the church warden in Pittsmore.
Okay, yeah.
And like anywhere, there's good and bad.
Yeah, obviously. Every community, everywhere.
But a lot of people used to say, oh, Burngreave, it's a bit rough there. And I used to say to them, have you been?
That's a good question.
Or have you read?
Yeah.
Or have you seen?
Yeah.
You need to go.
Yeah.
It's like anywhere. I mean, you can go to Ecclesall, you can go to Door, and there's bad people there.
Yeah, everywhere. Good and bad people always.
And I'm not knocking media, you know that. Yeah. But media sometimes portrays it in a more dark situation.
Right. Okay.
But no, lots of good things, I dealt with the first asylum seekers from Kosovo.
Right. Okay.
Because they just arrived, and they actually put them in an old school opposite the fire station at Ringinlow.
Mm.
It was an old school, and they just put them in there. They were refugees from Kosovo.
Yeah.
And then
is the school changing to the living accommodation? Or?
Well, they've knocked it down now. Built big, expensive houses.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And I've dealt with a lot of asylum problems
Right.
where the government have placed people in substandard accommodation.
Right. Okay. Before we carry on, I had some Zulfikar Khwaja. He says, "Mashallah, good information about Attercliffe." So we got Abdul Karim Nasrullah, and Kausar Praveen says, "Interesting interview." And one of my villager, he lives in the UAE, and he's from my village, and he's watching us in UAE.
Yeah.
So Muhammad Ali and Shabbir Hussain and many others watching through the Facebook and YouTube. Nowadays, the people who have the houses, what is the best advice you can give to them?
Make sure you can get out. Make sure you've got smoke alarms.
Yeah.
And if you haven't got them, phone the fire service and get them fitted.
Right.
Because they'll still come out and check your premises, your house. And if you need smoke alarms, they will fit the smoke alarms, and it's free. Don't be scared. Don't be scared of the fire service. Don't be scared of uniforms.
True.
They're there to help.
Yeah.
And I walk in many people's houses and still haven't got smoke alarms. And we had that bad fatality at Nether Edge a few years ago with the phone charger.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Which we're going to talk about in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Make sure that you can get out of the house. Make sure that your children are safe. Make sure that you can turn things off at night. That's the biggest thing.
Right.
Phone chargers.
What they're supposed to
well, you should
off?
Never sleep. You should never go to sleep with your chargers charging anything.
Right. Okay. Anything is on charge. It shouldn't be on charge.
No.
Left over.
No. The only thing that you should really leave switched on at night is your fridge freezer.
Yeah, obviously that's
even tumble dryers. You should not sleep with them going. They've had a big.
We had very bad stories about that.
Yeah, I mean they've had that big fire down in London. With the tower block.
Yeah.
Things can catch fire, but like I said, we've got a guest coming in the next couple of weeks to talk about that.
Yeah.
And then we've got the fire service coming in as well.
Good.
But the main thing is, if you don't know if your house is safe, phone up the fire service.
Yeah.
Because they don't just come out and fit smoke alarms. They'll tell you about phone chargers. They'll tell you about, and if you've got older relatives living in, they'll tell you about trip falls as well. A cable.
Yeah, cable or something.
They call them falls officers now. They come out and advise you on how to prevent people falling.
So they can come as a free service.
Yeah, free service. You phone up.
Anybody can call them and
anybody
ask them to visit my house and for safety.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's all preventative.
Right.
It's preventative.
Okay.
It's prevent them having to be called out to rescue people or pick somebody up off the floor.
Right. Okay.
And it's all part of the national fire safety strategy to cut down on the pressure on the NHS as well.
Obviously, this makes life easy for them.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, in the next few weeks we've got the ambulance service coming in, we've got the fire service coming in, we've got an electrical expert coming in, and all that's going to be free. They're going to give you loads of free information.
Loads of information going to be given.
And that's what people need to do.
True.
Okay,
Bob, I know you have to go.
Yeah, I've got to go and get my bread.
You have to go now. But thank you very much for coming.
No problem.
And sharing about your family and your life, which is very useful for everybody. Everybody have a story of their own.
Of course,
and that is maybe beneficial to somebody else. Through that, because you didn't have a degree, but you work hard to get into the somewhere where is very recognizable.
And it's like I said to anybody, if I can do it, you can do it.
Before you go, I just like to touch that the charity work you do most of time you put voluntarily how and when this comes into your mind
I've always done charity work, but as you know, that's how I got involved with IMAN Radio.
Yeah.
With Cumbria.
Yeah.
And then from that, you introduced me to Shiloh, who I help now over 12 months.
Yeah, that's right.
The reason I'm leaving now is to go to a baker's to pick up 12 sacks of bread.
Yeah, that's right.
And distribute that round.
Distribute that round, yeah, that's
and it keeps me busy while I'm looking for a job. I haven't got time for a job. But that's it, you know, I mean, people do say, why do you do it?
Yeah.
Because people need it.
Yeah, they do.
Aren't they?
Everybody needs it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks Shabbir. Thank you. Bye-bye.
So nice of you. सामीन मोहतरम ये थे हमारे बॉब रॉबर्ट एडनब्रुक उर्फ आम बॉब कहते हैं इनको और इनके साथ हमारी बातचीत हुई जिसमें उन्होंने अपनी ज़िंदगी के वाक़यात बताए हर कोई जो है उसको ज़रूरत होती है कि वो जब ज़िंदगी गुजारता है तो उसके अंदर उसे उसकी डेवलपमेंट होती है और उसी डेवलपमेंट के ज़रिए फिर वो कामयाबी की तरफ जाता है आज बॉब जो है इन्होंने जिस तरह अपनी ज़िंदगी गुजारी और जिस तरह एजुकेशन हासिल की और फिर उसके बाद काम करते रहे तो आज भी एक्टिव है although कि he had few of his arteries blocked and he had stent in the arteries but is keep continue working towards the humanity working for the needy people working for those people who need help so this is something very important for everybody all of us we need to be carry on whatever we doing but same time if we work for those people who are needy and that is something you can't imagine how great job you are doing सामीन मोहतरम इसी के साथ आज का ये जो प्रोग्राम है ये इसको हम ख़त्म करते हैं और एक कलाम आपको सुनाते हैं और ये कलाम जो है ये आप जो सुनेंगे ये हमारे हाफिज़ मोहम्मद अनवार ज़ैदी साहब हाफिज़ मोहम्मद अनवार ज़ैदी जो कि पाकिस्तान से वापस आने वाले हैं कल इंशाल्लाह तो उनकी आवाज़ में ये कलाम सुनते हैं और ये कलाम चूँकि बहुत सारे लोगों ने इसे पढ़ा है गाया है लेकिन इस अंदाज में इन्होंने फर्स्ट टाइम इसको पढ़ा है लब पे आती है दुआ बन के तमन्ना मेरी
के तमन्ना मेरी लब पे आती है दुआ बन के तमन्ना